We will now create the navigation for our index page. We can see that when we resize the window, the navigation will become stacked so that we have the brand name here, and then we have the drop down under it. On wider screens, they will stay on one line, brand name to the left side and drop down to the far right side. So let's jump into the code editor and start creating our code. We'll start by creating a container using a div tag with the classes UI and container. This will center the content on the page and give it a max width and width. Inside of this, we'll add a nav tag to create our menu. If we go back to the browser, we can see that it has the color teal, and we can also see that it has the size huge, and it's also inverted. And as I said in the beginning, it becomes stacked on small devices. So to create all of this, we add all of the classes UI, stackable, huge, inverted, teal menu. Now inside of this, we'll first create our brand or heading. So we add the h1 heading tag and want it to be a small header, so we give it the classes UI small header. Then we want to wrap an anchor tag around the text, and this will lead to the index.html page, and give it the classes header and item. Each part inside of this menu must have the class item, and then we give this the class header as well. We now add the text, knowledge base, and close our anchor tag and close our heading tag. Let's save this and go back and select the right tab and refresh. Here we see our link. Here we can see that our container is centering everything on the page and giving it a max width and width. Now we want to create the right part of our menu, so we add a new div tag with the classes right menu. This will float the content all the way to the right side. Inside of this, we want to create a drop down. We want it to open on hover, so it should be a simple drop down using the classes UI, simple, and drop down. We must also add the class item, since this is an item of our menu. We'll now give the drop down the trigger text English, which will be visible before the drop down is triggered or opened. Then we'll add a drop down icon using the I tag with the classes drop down and icon. Remember to close the I tag again. And then we'll create the drop down menu using a div tag with the class menu. Inside of this, we add some anchor tags with the classes or class item. We'll give it the text language. I'll just copy and paste this a few times. Now let's save this, go back and refresh. Now we see our drop down in the right side. We can see it becomes stacked on small devices since we used the class stackable. We can see that this doesn't look too good. It has some margin in the bottom. So to get rid of this, we'll add some custom CSS by adding a style tag with the type attribute with the value text/CSS. Inside of this, we'll target our h1 heading element with the classes UI and header. And we'll set the margin bottom property to 0. Let's save this, go back and refresh. Now it looks correct.